So you also weren't here for our conversation last week about Strengths Finders 2.0. Have you ever taken your Strengths Finders test?
I haven't taken that one in particular, but I have taken some like personality tests in the past.
I'm thinking it would be really interesting if you took that Strengths Finders test. So you have to buy the book, Strengths Finders 2.0, and then in the back of the book there is a passcode. You go onto the website, you take the test, and it'll give you your top 5 strengths.
Is it on Amazon, the book?
I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah. Or you can buy it at Main Street Books here.
Okay.
Actually, right over here on 4th Street. Yeah. And that might be a really fun conversation because it sounds to me like you have 2 very complementary strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that strengths are going to be the key. It's also going to be kind of personality style.
Right.
So you're both also very open-minded. And you're more interested in like what you can create together,
right,
than what you create as an individual. And I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that this socialist kind of attitude is the right way to be in the world. I mean, I think that people that say I'm doing it for you and I'm only doing it for you are lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure.
So when I say that you're working strongly as a collective and that's very important to you, there's also the I involved.
Mm-hmm.
I also hate that phrase, there's no I in we. I mean,
right.
Give that up. There is an I in we, right? In my opinion. I mean, there's the we and there's the I.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take into consideration your own values and what's important to you as an individual and then bring that to the collective.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, it'd be really interesting for us, the 3 of us, to do the Strengths Finders and talk about it. We could maybe even get Cindy Biggs here. She's my Strengths Finders coach, and she could...
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, she could walk us through some of that, which would be really fascinating.
Yeah. That would be. I was just sitting here thinking about all the people who I've ever like worked well with throughout my 6 full years of working. I don't even know how long it's been at this point. But it's always people that are like non-judgmental sounding boards and who I like highly respect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having to like actually come into the conversation motivating them, but we leave the conversation feeling like we are conquering the world. Like, I don't know what that personality trait is, but it's a gold one.
It is a gold one.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rare person that can be in a part of that shared conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that shared experience, and it can mentor somebody without necessarily giving advice. You know, they're mentoring you through actions, through conversation, through clarifying questions.
I literally just posted about that on Instagram last week.
Yeah. I
said that's what our relationship has been. It's like we get on a phone call and he knows like the correct questions to ask. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, boom. Gave him a nice little shout out. It was so nice.
Is this your coach?
It was nice.
No, this was to Evan.
This was me?
Yeah.
It was so nice of her.
It's very true. You are really good at asking clarifying questions. And just, helping somebody to process information in a way that makes things clear.
Mm-hmm. Because I'll come into a conversation and be like, blah, 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 this is what we need to do, blah, blah, blah. And then it's nice to have somebody who's like, okay, but answer this one and answer this one. Uh-huh. And if I'm still like, a psycho person after it, then we're on to something.
If you haven't beaten each other up or...
Yeah. We've actually been so much nicer to each other recently. I was just thinking about that the other day.
Since you got back from vacation.
Could it be since that conversation about how, the very first podcast, remember? There was a conversation about how Evan makes you nervous?
Yeah. Because I always viewed him as like a loose cannon. I just never knew what was going to happen.
I wonder if just speaking it
Maybe.
Like released it.
Maybe. That's so true. I never even thought about that.
Sometimes I am a loose cannon.
Yeah, but now I see it in more of like a productive way. It's not going to completely terrify me.
How is that productive? Like every once in a while you hit the right target?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just kind of like, this is Evan. Like, I've just accepted you for you. Like, when you send me just random emojis out of nowhere and I don't, it means nothing. I'm just like, this is Evan.
Yes.
I am not looking for an answer here.
No. Last night I sent her a bunch of random emojis.
What I didn't even know existed.
Well, that's why I was sending them, because I was trying to find any emojis that I would find interesting for potential Instagram captions or just funny memes. And I didn't find any that I really liked. And so we're going to have to start using Snapchat cuts.
I literally asked him, are you drunk? Because there was so many coming through and none of it made any sense.
She's right.
And I was like, are you drunk? And he said, no, I wish. And then he just kept sending emojis and I just never responded. I just left it. I just let it be what it was.
Yes, just let it be.
Yeah.
I didn't find any that I liked, though. If you were like, oh, that's an interesting emoji, then I'd be like, oh, interesting. But
I know. I let you work it through on your own system.
There were a lot that I didn't know existed.
I'm honestly.
Rock climbing?
Yeah.
What?
I'm trying to pull it up now because you were sending ones that were just like.
Thankfully, they have ropes. They're not doing that crazy free climbing stuff.
You sent a dragon?
That was a great movie, wasn't it?
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
I think about it a lot.
Yeah, I do too. You know, there was something that he said that was so powerful to me that it keeps coming back in my head, which was when he was climbing, he has to observe the fear. He has to set the fear outside of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh my God, that's powerful. That is the mindfulness practice. To be in that zone where you're observing what's happening and you're just accepting it as it is. You're not letting it run you.
Right.
You're just letting it be an emotion that's existing. And the way he phrased it, I just have to set the fear outside myself. Oh my God, that's so cool. Of course, he's at 2,000 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
And he's clinging to the side of him. You know, he's clinging to a rock.
For those of you who haven't seen the movie, it's a documentary about the first guy to free climb, which means climb without any ropes or any safety net or anything like that. If you fall, you die. El Cap in Yosemite. He just did it in like 2017.
It's such a great movie.
What's it on? What's it called?
It was a National Geographic movie. It was in theaters when we saw it.
Okay.
It's called what? Free
Climb.
Free Climb.
Also not a paid sponsor.
Yeah,
it was just really good.
It really.
I have got to see that.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and the palms of my hands were sweating. I mean, I was just so anxious for him because you don't really know if I suppose you do know he's going to survive, but you don't.
You don't really know.
You don't really know if he's going to survive. And I mean, I didn't because I don't know him. I didn't know him at the time. Of course, now since I watched the movie, I Googled him and I've watched all of his videos.
Yeah.
Because he's just a fascinating guy. He's very introspective. And I suppose when you're spending hours on a rock, you know, focused on survival, you would be introspective.
One of the things that I think about a lot, and I haven't sorted through why I think about it yet, but when he was like talking to his girlfriend and she was trying to convince him not to do it, he referred to falling and dying as perishing.
Interesting. I didn't even that.
And that he said, if I perish. And I thought, what an acceptance of like what you're about to do. At the same time, I don't know what that means yet. Like, you really have to get to a different mental place to think about that experience purely in like a biological capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Especially speaking to your romantic partner at the time.
Right.
It was really a good movie. Yeah.
Now I'm going to be thinking about that all day.
And you can watch some of his videos on YouTube.
Okay.
That are very interesting. And it will give you some insight into his personality.
Yeah.
Just an interesting person.
Thanks again for joining us today. If you'd like to connect with us on social media, you can find Annamarie at Mindfully Annamarie. You can find myself at Emily VDW, and you can find Evan at _Evan Ryan. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Everyday Mindfulness. Have a great day.